Okay, so yeah, Malmoto is under the impression that when I come to Costa Rica, I just go into some kind of catatonic state and I'm not around. So I just want to prove to the world that no, that's not what's happening here. So this is the penthouse in the Crown Plaza in San Jose, and I hope you all can see it pretty well. It's pretty awesome. It's a little messy right now because I'm staying here and whatnot, but this is, take a look at that view. It's a beautiful, beautiful mountain right there. This is San Jose, Costa Rica. Wonderful place. I like to visit every now and then. Let me take you on a little tour real quick. So we got the stairs up. So, okay. Try to make this a quick tour. But the master bedroom. Once again, lovely view. This is the realtor showroom video, basically, guys. Lovely indoor bathroom. This place is very sexy. We've got the bed with the mirrors on the ceiling, so it's pretty hot. It's pretty awesome. Go up another flight. Okay, this is where I normally sleep, and it's a mess. It's terrible, but it's a second bedroom. Have another gorgeous view of the terrace. Best thing about the place is we got a hot tub. We got an awesome hot tub. That's pretty awesome. A gorgeous view, and that's cool. Hey, falling down here. This is a little dance club on the top of it, where you can throw parties and things like that. It's pretty awesome. And one more flight all the way to the top. Let me show you the view, folks. Okay, if I can get out of here. And we're on the roof. And this is beautiful San Jose, Costa Rica. Little tower. Mountains in the distance. And this is the Dread Pirate saying Merry Christmas from San Jose, Costa Rica. It's a wonderful place. Adios. I see you when I get back, hopefully before Christmas starts. Keep it real, people.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed that lovely video of me touring the penthouse in San Jose, Costa Rica, and panting heavily as I went up the stairs because I'm a fat bastard. Hello, once again. This is the Dread Pirate wishing you a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate. Just season's greetings. Season's greetings to everybody. And I hope you can hear this too. We're working on a different computer today. But yeah, so I shot that video just on location, just proof Malmoto, I do in fact go to Costa Rica. I was going to get on here and briefly talk about my trip to Costa Rica. I try to go to Costa Rica. The past couple of years I've been going to Costa Rica about every year around Christmas time. It's a very beautiful, wonderful country. I definitely recommend checking it out. There's a lot of great things and wonderful things to see there. Yeah, so just in brief, I'm just gonna talk about my vacation. Went to San Jose, Costa Rica, stayed in that lovely penthouse. There's a lot to do in San Jose, a lot to do in Costa Rica, and I partied a little bit. You know, had some the penthouse is located in the Crown Plaza in Corabisi. The food there, the room service food, the food in the restaurant there is actually really, really good. They make really good pizza. And I always I like to get pizza and Neapolitan ice cream for them. They do a really good job. There's some lovely there's a lovely restaurant I checked out, Olive, which is this really, really excellent Italian restaurant. Had some really good lasagna there. And met some friends. You know, I was actually kind of down there meeting some friends for Christmas time, so that was kind of neat. And what else do we have here? Now I normally whenever I go down, I try to do something fun, and there's a lot to do down there, and a couple of the main events I checked out was I went to the Museum of Art. I've done this before. Last year I went to, like, right next to the Crown Plaza Core BC. There is the Museum de Art de Costarricense, or I'll just show the picture. This. Okay. Yeah. Well, you can see it. I don't know if it's gonna show up. Okay, Mac. All right. Can we see it? There we go. Museum de Art de Costarricense. So it's like basically there's a museum of art like right next to Crown Plaza there, and I went there last year. Interestingly enough, when I went there last year, like there was a massive erotica exhibit. It was nothing but like statues and paintings of people having sex, and it was cool, but it was just like, okay. And there was a couple. There was one thing kind of dedicated to architecture, and there was one thing that was dedicated to like just another artist. This year they had a little bit of different stuff, but like it's worth seeing. One of the most interesting things is I believe this is I think it's the right guy, Salon. There we go, Salon Dorado. Yeah, he's basically this is the museum in question. This is it. And it's a lovely building, and the like one of the like things that you really see there is there's this beautiful room at the top of the building, and I don't know if you can see it too well here. My lighting's kind of bad today, but oh god, this is pretty bad. Let me get some more lighting up in here. There we go. But okay. Well, this is staying in. Let me see if we can find a better picture. They have a room up there that basically is done entirely with like all sorts of carvings that are basically carvings of essentially tell the history of Costa Rica, and that's like one of the things that's kind of always there. And I don't think it shows up terribly well on the camera right now, so that's the problem. But it's basically this Salvador. This is the best I can do. It's the best I can do. It's this picture. If you notice, there's like the carvings of like kind of the Indians and kind of Central American Indians and whatnot. It's kind of hard to see. I hope you can make it out. Basically, it's this entire room that's basically done in these carvings, and Salon Dorado is the guy that did it. And so that's something you can kind of see anytime you're there. Let me see if this shows up a little bit better, because it's in here too. Okay. Likewise, oh my god. I have like no lighting today. Okay, hold on. Okay, we're gonna try this again. Alright, so again, you probably still can't make it out too clearly. My lighting's really bad. Normally I like the bad lighting because it highlights me a little better, but you know, it's like right now I kind of need lighting and I can't get it. Basically, alright, so you notice this room here and kind of the brown etchings on the walls. Those are all like basically the carvings that are basically done, essentially the history of Costa Rica, all within the carvings of that. And that's on my Salon Dorado. That's definitely worth seeing. I definitely recommend checking out. And the art museum always has interesting things that they put on pretty much anytime they're there, and like they go around year round. So it's pretty neat. It's a pretty neat place. There's a bunch of outside exhibits which are pretty cool. It's like, and that stuff is kind of stuff you always see. This year, when I checked them out, they had Julio, Ventures in Bad Lighting. Julio is, yeah, there we go. Ventures in Bad Lighting and not knowing exactly how to position an image. Okay. Julio Escampes. I don't know much about him. I believe he's a Argentinian fugitive artist. What struck me is he had a bunch of really big, beautiful mural paintings, which I could tell had some kind of like political and social satire in them. But also there was like science fiction images. There was like robots and crazy stuff. It was absolutely beautiful to take a look at. So that was neat. So that was cool. The other major exhibit they had was, is this the right one? Metadata. Again, not 100% sure, but like a lot of interesting kind of like just kind of portraits and pictures with weird, just kind of like with almost like a comedic focus. But one thing that was interesting in particular was the guy who was working on this, Luciano Goizeta. He'd also, in addition to making the paintings, had made these little individual little dioramas that were exact dioramas of the rooms that we were in with the paintings, with little miniature versions of those paintings on it, and action figures inside, but it was closed over. So, like, in order to actually see inside of it, in order to actually see the inside of the damn ray, you had to like get down on your knees and look in through the little holes in the archways in order to check it out. So it was really neat. It was really neat. It was always a fun time at the museum there. I definitely recommend the Museum of Art. I'm told that San Jose also has a gold museum, which is a lot of pre-Columbian artwork and like kind of like Aztec gold and stuff like that, and that's really worth checking out. I've yet to do it. I did something else this time, but like next time I go down there, that's definitely something I want to do. I did the canopy tours. Canopy tours. Basically, it's a zip line, and here is Parque Aventuras San Luis, Costa Rica. And what that is basically you go to a spot in the jungle, and you get up on a big like zip line, and you swing across the jungle. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It feels like flying. You're in the jungle, so a lot of times you can see a lot of neat stuff. We also do a Tarzan swing, where you you swing like Tarzan. They throw you out over on the canopy, and the whole thing ends with the Superman zip line. Superman zip line. It's basically it's like I think like a good like mile or half a mile or something. It's something crazy. It's this really long. It's like the longest stretch that they have from like the mountaintop all the way down to where you start at. And you basically, I did it kind of like with my arms on my side like this. I was kind of launching forward, and it feels like flying. It feels like it's as close as it possibly can be to like flying with superpowers. Basically, it's really really fun, really neat. There's a beautiful river that goes through the whole valley of the place, and it's really neat. We did see a couple animals too. Mainly, we saw some butterflies and some ants. We saw army ants. Army ants are basically, and they were basically, we saw them basically moving in a big line on the ground when we were down there, and they were stripping away a lot of the leaves. And basically, army ants are capable. They can like take down like an entire tree within like a couple hours. That's what army ants are capable of. So we saw them. There's also a species of butterfly we saw that apparently is poisonous. That the guide pointed out to me, and I could tell it was. It was black with a big white spot on it. I could tell it was poisonous because it was completely unafraid of us. Like most butterflies, kind of float around, but they don't come too close. This one kind of floated around in our area. Kind of sat down next to us and was just kind of there. Hey, what's up? Yeah, go ahead, bite me. See what happens. It was like you could tell it was poisonous. It doesn't have many predators because creatures know that they bite it, they're gonna die. So it's like it was just sitting there, kind of badass and unafraid. Met a lot of really great people that went to the canopy tour with me. The second thing I did was the combo tour. Okay, once again. There we go. The combo tour. The combo tour, this is essentially 3 tours in one. It goes to the Doka Estate, which is a coffee plantation, the Paus Volcano, and La Paz Waterfalls. Now, the main thing for me that kind of going into this was the Paus Volcano, which I've been to a couple times before, and I feel is always worth seeing. And the La Paz Waterfall Garden, I thought was one thing I really wanted to check out. But the Doka Estate was very interesting. It was basically they take you on a nice tour of it, and they show you how they collect coffee and how they filter it and how they make the different types of coffee. And then they serve you coffee. And I wound up learning a lot about like coffee production as a result. And I thought it was actually surprisingly. I was surprising how much I enjoyed the coffee plantation. That was very interesting. I also got some Christmas gifts for the coffee lovers of my life, so that was fun as well. Yeah, it's like trying to change my angle here a little bit. It's like the lighting this time is like it's just I think maybe it's just really like dark outside. It's like in the dead of winter, but it's like the lighting is like super dark this time. But whatever. Back to the description. We also the Paus Volcano again. The Paus Volcano I've been to before. It's kind of a local volcano. They've got a bunch of volcanoes down there. They've got I think like I want to say 4 or 5 active, and like a bunch more like I think 11 non-active. I want to say my numbers are probably wrong there. They went over it on the tour with us. But I've been to the Paus Volcano before. It's very very beautiful, very very lovely to see. You can actually look down in the crater. Sometimes a little smoky, so that way you can't always see over. But if you wait a little while, it clears and whatnot. It's a breathtaking sight. You can get some great pictures of it. And there's like this sulfurous fumes that come up, and there's like a little lake down in the crater there that's basically acid. It's like water and acid, so don't swim in that. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Palos volcano erupted this year and spread ash all over the place. It was a big mess. And so as a result, they, like normally when you go to the Palos volcano, it's very laid back and whatnot. This time, no. The government had them put very special safety restrictions. We had to wear hard hats. We all look like construction workers with these big hard hats. It looks like we're doing a union job or something like that. And there also the volcano had launched a bunch of like rocks into the air, and they had actually hit the ground and damaged the concrete that you walk on. So there's all these little yellow markers on the ground of where the volcano had launched up, hit the ground, and made these little holes in the ground. And so that was kind of neat. That was a little interesting thing to see. On the way to from the volcano to the waterfall, we stopped at this one little place, this little tourist shop that I've been to before, where they serve a really nice kind of dessert of strawberries and with milk and chocolate, like chocolate milk with strawberries. It's very, very tasty. It's a nice little tourist trap, and it's got a bunch of really great souvenirs. The guy that runs the place serves like he'll give you like a sample of wine. You get wine, cheese, and fruit, and it's a very nice little tourist stop. So we stopped there for like some snacks, and that was pretty neat. It was kind of, I'd been there before, in addition to going to the volcano before. It was just kind of nice to go to that spot as well. The big thing for me was the La Paz waterfalls. In addition to these very lovely waterfalls that you can see right here that are just basically on the side of the mountain. There's like 3 or 4 of them that we all get to see, and there's a lot of nice workout too for a fat guy like me. A lot of climbing and running around to go look at these things. But the beauty of the La Paz waterfalls, the La Paz waterfall is also, it's privately owned land that is also a wildlife reserve, like a wildlife rescue specifically. There's a bunch of animals down there that were being kept as pets, that are like that are pretty much native animals to Costa Rica, but they're animals that are illegal to be owned as pets. So when those animals are confiscated, they're then brought to the La Paz Waterfall Gardens, and it's kind of like a zoo. Basically, a lot the animals are, since they've have so much access with humans, it's the concern is they wouldn't survive in the wild and be endangered. So basically, they're kept there, and it's kind of in a zoo atmosphere. And basically, you can go and look at the animals. But what's really neat is that a lot of these animals are comfortable with humans. So this is basically like the coolest zoo experience I've ever had. You can get right up close to the animals, at least the vast majority of them. Not the poisonous snakes and the big cats, no. But like everything else, you can get close up to. There's some macaws. There's some beautiful like 3-toed sloths we got to see. One of the coolest things for me was like the moment I knew that this was something really special, was we're in like a birdhouse with a bunch of beautiful toucans, and we're right up next to them. And like there's like a toucan like right here looking at me, and I had a leather jacket, and then we each had like kind of grabbed at my leather jacket with its bill, and then it flew like right past me, and we were able to get right up close to him, and it was really neat. There were some monkeys. The monkeys were in cages too, because the monkeys always snatch things. There was like some white-faced monkeys and some howler monkeys. A friend of mine said he'd actually donated the monkeys and a couple of the macaws to the reserve. So it's like that would be interesting. It was like the spider monkey looked almost like it knew who I was to some degree. It was climbing up, and then I walked past it and I was like, ah! And like it just kind of looked at me and just made a noise, and then started eating something. And so I was like, maybe that's my friend Dan's spider monkey. I don't know. But there were some lovely hummingbirds which you got to get very close to. There was a bunch of snakes. The snakes were not something you could interact with very, very easily. Snakes were a lot of poisonous snakes, a couple anacondas, but they had those that like you get very good photos of a bunch of different types of poisonous snakes that were contained in there. I think I already mentioned the hummingbirds. There's you can get very close to the hummingbirds, which is really, really neat. There's a huge butterfly enclosure where you got these beautiful butterflies flying around all over the place. The big cats, you got like an ocelot. You got some ocelots. You got I want to say a panther. There's like a panther that was in there, and there's one type of critter that's like it's like a big cat, but it's small, which is kind of an oxymoron. It looks like it's like about the size of an ordinary house cat, but it's very predatory and can kick your ass. and it was like it's also like old too. It's like 30 years old, but it's like it's like this big. It's like crazy. And the big thing that was probably the most exciting thing for me was the jaguars. There were some amazing jaguars in there, and it was great. Now, this rescue doesn't have any breeding programs set up, so they keep these animals and they take care of them, but they're not allowed to breed them. It might be a money issue. The government hasn't made a decision on it because it's a government-run reserve. I'm not sure what the issue is, but there's one cage that's got 2 female jaguars that are sitting up on this ledge and they're kind of like meh, and then the other cage is this big beautiful male jaguar, this big badass male jaguar, and what he kept doing was he kept walking in a circle. And then coming back to the cage where the female jaguar was there, and he would line up there and he'd go like, "Arr," and then he'd get up and he'd walk around and he'd go back and look at the females like, "Arr," and it was just like he was horny. He wanted to get laid, you know. And it was like one of the guys I was talking to on the tour was like, "Man, that's not right, man. You know, just just like have this guy sit next to these women, you know, and he wants to have sex with it, and he can just never do anything about it." And it was like they should let these jaguars have sex. Like that's torture. That ain't right. So it was, that was very interesting. There was also, I think the last critters we saw were a bunch of frogs. There were a couple of the big, like, kind of psychedelic frogs that have been confiscated because, you know, they had been confiscated because people were like got them to lick them. But the best thing was there was some little the red-eyed frogs, which are the red-eyed tree frogs, which are like the national animal of Costa Rica. And on top of that, there were some poison arrow frogs. I didn't get to see any of the red poison arrows, but I did get to see the blue poison arrows. And again, you can get right up close to these things. The trick is with the poison arrow frogs is the poison arrow frog is poisonous primarily because it subsists on a diet of ants, and when it eats a bunch of ants, it generates more toxic poison. And so what they do is they just don't feed them ants; they feed them other things. They feed them, like, I think there's like little fruit for them to eat and whatnot. But they feed them other things so that they'll be fine, but they produce less poison. And there's a guy in there with little gloves on, and it's like, yeah, you want to see the poison dart frog? He can pick it up, put it on a leaf for you, so you can take a picture of it. So I got these really amazing pictures of this. That and they had another guy who was also taking care of the red-eyed frog. It was really neat. It was amazing. It was a lot of fun to go to. There's also like a little restaurant. There's like a traditional turn of the century Costa Rican hut there. There's a lot of neat things there. It was really, really great. And the big thing tapped off the whole vacation. I was in San Jose for the Festival of Lights, or the Festival de Luz. And I got to see the San Jose Festival of Lights live, and that was really, really amazing. And it's just these beautiful floats and dancers and whatnot. It was pretty cool. Yeah, so I've gone on for like 15 minutes now. Or no, I've gone on longer than that. So that was basically my vacation. I had a really great time. Oh, one more thing. While on the plane or in between downtime of checking all this stuff out, I finally finished reading this. I finished reading X-Men Days of Future Past. This classic X-Men story it is classic. It's very good. It's not just about like a dystopian future where the Sentinels rule the world and, you know, a plot by a time-traveling Kitty Pryde to stop Mystique from killing Senator Kelly to prevent that. There's more to it than there. There's a team-up with Doctor Strange. Kitty Pryde fights a demon at Christmas time. Wolverine, Nightcrawler, and Alpha Flight take on the Wendigo. A lot of cool stuff in this trade. And the whole thing begins with the aftermath of the Dark Phoenix saga, as the X-Men are mourning the death of Jean Grey. And Cyclops recants the entire history of the X-Men up until that point, if you were not aware of it. And that was really, really neat. So I watched that, I read that, I finished this up on the plane. Then I started reading Star Wars Vader Down, and I didn't like it as much. It's not terrible, but yeah, that's a story for another day. But anyway, I had an awesome vacation. I'm back in town. Before I go, quick announcement, since we got Christmas time coming around, I was thinking about doing something similar to the Halloween Spooktacular, but Christmas related. Inspired by Man Shorts and their seasonal role-playing stuff. I figured, like, okay, so if Christmas is the time for gift giving, instead of doing a Christmas-themed campaign, which I don't think I really have the energy in me to do, other than, like, blatantly copying what Man Shorts did and, like, have you got to rescue Santa Claus from Frosty the Snowman. I think what I'm going to do is, like, I would like to basically give gifts in terms of role playing. And so what I was going to do is going to sit down with my players and my fellow dungeon masters and ask them what they want for Christmas in terms of gaming. And I got a couple ideas for this. You could play, if there's a specific character they want to play, the specific item they want their character to have or whatnot, basically, well, for the next game we do, they're going to get it. If there's a specific type of campaign they want to run or something that maybe, like, for... Like, say, for example, I'm not really too crazy about, like, D&D 5th Edition, for example. I'll run it, or I'll sit down. I'll play a game with it. Me, I'm kind of a pain in the ass, and I'm the asshole that likes to play Spider-Man in a D&D game. So if they would like, hey Eddie, settle down and play a goddamn elf for once. All right, that's my Christmas present to you, Davis, is I'll play a goddamn elf. Or we could play the maid game. I'm still like on the fence of that. Like, you know, if you wanna. Do that, we can do that too, bro. But basically, I figured, like, what we're gonna do for, like, I think for, like, Malmoto, the big gift is just to, like, we're just gonna do dents. We're just gonna, like, the poor son of a bitch has been waiting. But I thought this would be a really cool idea. So my plan is to do, like a Christmas spectacular where I get together with my players and my fellow DMs, and they get a gift, like, and we give gifts to each other. It's like, you know, and we, like, in terms of gaming, like, they can get a special weapon. They get something they normally wouldn't be able to get. Play it at a certainly high level, whatever they want. I think that might be a nice idea. So that's going to be my plan. So yeah, this is basically just, like, you know, again, that was my vacation. And, again, Merry Christmas, guys, and Happy Holidays. Yeah, I've got a lot of more Christmas fun going on. We got, this is still, I'm filming this on the 21st, so it's still a couple days till Christmas, so it's like still got, like, some fun for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and so it should be a good time, so. And I'm not used to this computer and its webcam. I'm not used to the lighting. Once again, my high standard of low standards is top-notch. Yeah, I can barely film. Yeah, that's me. So, anyway, once again, happy holidays, guys. Hope you have a great time. Stay tuned for another role-playing war story. Catch you later.